My boyfriend, 25M, and I, 22F, want to get married, but his big ego is ruining everything. I am a 22-year-old woman who has been in a relationship with my 25-year-old boyfriend for 2 years. We met at university, where he is pursuing a degree in mathematics, and I am on a pre-med track. Our relationship has had its fair share of wonderful moments, but lately, his big ego is starting to create significant issues, and I'm beginning to question whether we have a sustainable future together. When we first met, I was immediately drawn to his intelligence and confidence. He was incredibly smart, and it was clear that he had a bright future ahead of him. He treated me with respect and love, and his friends always spoke highly of him. My parents also took an instant liking to him, appreciating his manners and ambition. We often talked about our future together, imagining what our lives would be like if we got married. At the time, it seemed like nothing could go wrong. However, as time went on, one trait in particular began to stand out and increasingly caused friction between us: his ego. While it's natural for someone to take pride in their abilities, my boyfriend's self-assuredness often crosses into arrogance. He knows he's intelligent, and he isn't shy about reminding everyone around him of that fact. Initially, I found his confidence charming and was happy to support and encourage him. But over time, his constant boasting and need to be the center of attention became exhausting. His conversations often revolve around his achievements and how he's better than others. When we have arguments or even simple discussions, he insists on being right and refuses to see things from my perspective. This attitude makes resolving conflicts incredibly difficult. Instead of having constructive conversations, our disagreements turn into battles where he won't apologize unless I do so first, even when I'm just trying to express my feelings or concerns. This behavior is frustrating and makes me feel undervalued and unheard. One incident that stands out is when he dismissed my passion for becoming a doctor. I have always dreamed of working in the medical field, driven by a desire to help others and make a difference. But during a conversation, he casually remarked that being a doctor was the worst job on earth. He then went on to boast about how he would earn more than me in an office job. While it might be true that he could earn a high salary in his field, his comment was incredibly hurtful and dismissive of my dreams and hard work. I've always supported his ambitions, yet he finds it difficult to reciprocate that support. Another time, after a particularly heated argument, he mumbled under his breath that he was the best man I'd ever be with and that I would never find anyone better. This statement was not only arrogant, but also deeply hurtful. It made me question his respect for me and our relationship. How can we have a healthy, loving relationship if he believes that I'm somehow lucky to be with him and that he's doing me a favor by being my partner? Despite these issues, I love him deeply. He is my first love, and the early days of our relationship were filled with happiness and excitement. We shared many wonderful experiences, and he has many qualities that I admire. He is ambitious, driven, and capable of great kindness. But his ego often overshadows these positive traits, making it difficult for me to envision a future where we can both be happy and fulfilled. Our relationship's dynamic has become increasingly strained. I find myself walking on eggshells, trying to avoid topics that might trigger his defensiveness or arrogance. This constant tension is taking a toll on my mental and emotional well-being. I want to marry him and build a life together, but I'm beginning to wonder if his ego will always stand in the way of our happiness. In my heart, I believe that every relationship requires effort, understanding, and compromise from both partners. I'm willing to put in the work to make our relationship better, but I can't do it alone. My boyfriend needs to recognize how his behavior affects me and our relationship. He needs to understand that a partnership is built on mutual respect, support, and empathy. Without these elements, our relationship cannot thrive. I have tried to talk to him about how his ego and arrogance make me feel, but these conversations rarely go well. He often becomes defensive, insisting that he's just being confident and that I'm overreacting. I don't want to be in a relationship where I feel belittled or where my dreams and ambitions are dismissed. I want a partner who supports me as much as I support him. I am reaching out for advice because I'm at a crossroads. I need to find a way to communicate my feelings to him in a way that he can understand and accept without feeling attacked. I want to help him see that his behavior is hurting our relationship and that we need to work together to find a solution. At the same time, I am also preparing myself for the possibility that he may not be willing or able to change, and I need to consider what that means for our future. I have been reading about different communication strategies and relationship advice, hoping to find a way to bridge this gap between us. I've learned that it's important to use I statements instead of you statements to avoid sounding accusatory. For example, saying, I feel hurt when my dreams are dismissed, instead of, you always dismiss my dreams. This approach can help create a more open and less confrontational dialogue. I've also considered suggesting couples counseling. Sometimes having a neutral third party can facilitate better communication and help both partners understand each other's perspectives. I believe that with the right guidance, we might be able to work through these issues and rebuild the trust and respect that are essential for a healthy relationship. However, I'm also aware that change is difficult and it requires a genuine willingness from both partners. If my boyfriend is unwilling to acknowledge his behavior and make an effort to change, I need to think about my own happiness and well-being. It's not easy to walk away from someone you love, especially your first love. But staying in a relationship where I feel undervalued and disrespected isn't an option either. In conclusion, I am deeply conflicted and in need of guidance. I love my boyfriend and cherish the good times we've had together. But his ego and the way it manifests in our relationship are causing me significant distress. I want to marry him and have a happy life together, but I need to know if it's possible to overcome these challenges. I am reaching out to anyone who might have been in a similar situation or who can offer advice on how to navigate this complex and painful issue. Your insights and support would mean the world to me as I try to find a path forward.